Hello everybody, this is Mike Molinari. I've been a Liberty Basic, Run Basic, and Just Basic user for many years now. I love Carl's products, and I just wanted to create this video to showcase the Code Wiki. The Code Wiki uses Run Basic as the server, and it compiles applications using Just Basic. Basically, it allows you to create applications from your web browser in a collaborative environment so that more than one person can be working on the same project at the same time. And yeah, it's pretty easy and fun to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the website. If you go to smibbysoft.com, that's smbisoft.com, you're going to see the Code Wiki on the left hand side. The first thing you have to do is sign up, so you're going to click the sign up link. You're going to input a username, password, you can put in your name, and I do need an email address. You don't need to put in a phone number or anything like that, but that's the sign up form. Once you're signed up, you're going to click on the Code Wiki login, and I don't really like using it in this frame in here, so I'm going to click full screen. So this here is opening up the Code Wiki full screen. So I'm going to click the link to log in. I'm going to enter my username and password, log in. Now I do recommend that you use Google Chrome while doing this. Google Chrome, I believe, is probably one of the best web browsers out there. So, and it runs the best compatibility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on New Project, and I'm going to type in a name for my project. This here is going to be my demo for web. So I'm going to click Create. Now, since I'm in my project now, I'm in my demo for web project, it breaks your code down into chunks. So the idea is that you break your major parts of your program down into bite-sized pieces that individual people can modify. So right here, it by default puts in an end chunk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit that end chunk, and I'm just going to put some code in here, like I'm going to put a print statement in here, and I'm going to just say I'm all done, and I'm going to put in the end command, and I'm going to hit done. So now I have that chunk there, but that chunk's not terribly useful to me right now, so I'm going to add a new chunk, and it asks you for the name of your chunks so you can describe it to whoever's editing the program. So I'm going to type in, many times when you're programming, you want to have some code that runs at the very beginning to initialize, dimension some arrays or assign some default values to variables. So I'm going to put in my initialization code, and I'm going to click Insert Code Chunk. So, and now it's going to ask you where you want to insert it. It's going to insert it before the chunk you select. I only have one chunk in here right now, so I'm going to click the end chunk. And see how it placed my initialization code right there? So I'm going to click on it to edit it. So I'm going to type in dimension my array, and I'm going to make it 10 by 10, and I'm going to print I'm getting started now. So I'm going to click done. So now you can see that I got my code all there. Now, one of the cool things about the Code Wiki is that you're able to use a built-in form editor. A form is a window. You get to put in a window. It's got a nice little WYSIWYG editor. So I'm going to click the new chunk button again, and I'm going to type in the name of my chunk. So this is going to be my first form for right now, and I'm going to click the insert form chunk because I want to insert form, not code. So I'm going to click that, insert form chunk, and then it's going to ask me where I want to insert it again. So I'm going to click before my end chunk. So I'm going to click on the end chunk. So it's going to insert my form right there. Notice how it gives me an image here. The image isn't there yet because we haven't edited our form yet. So I'm going to click on the form to edit it. Now you do have to give it a moment to load up the form editor. Now this here's the form editor. Notice how it's got the properties on the right and it's got your window right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the size of my window. So I'm going to change that to 300 by 200 pixels. I'm going to rename the window to my first Code Wiki window, and you have to assign a handle to your window, so I'm just going to make this my main window. I'm going to come down here and hit apply, and that's going to update the window size and whatnot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to insert a button. So these are my widgets. I'm going to click on button, and I'm going to select where I want to insert that button at. So I want to kind of insert it right here in the middle. And notice how it places a button right there. Now it gives me all the options for that button. So I'm going to come down here to my branch, and I'm going to say when my button is clicked. So that's my branch label. So when I click on that, it's going to go to that branch. And I'm going to change the button text. I'm going to change that to click me. And I'm going to hit apply. So now the button is updated. If I want to go back and edit the button again, I just click on it. Now if I want to move the button, all I do is I hit the move command, and I click where I want my button to be. And this is going to position it using the top right hand corner. So I'm going to click right here. And I want to resize my button. So I'm going to click the resize command, and I want the bottom right hand corner of my button to be approximately there. So now my button is the size I want, it goes to the branch I want, and it looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. I do want this to add a wait statement at the end of my GUI code that this produces. You don't have to add the wait statement if you're going to be doing some stuff after the window is loaded. So if you were making a game or something else and you wanted to load some bitmaps for your graphics box or something else like that, you don't have to use the wait statement. You can put it in later in the actual code. But for this, I'm going to check that box and have it actually add the wait statement at the end of the code that this produces. So I'm going to hit Save Current Form, and notice how it puts my my code here for that form, and it inserts a nice little thumbnail, little picture of what my form looks like. So now I'm going to create my branch. So when this button is clicked, it's actually going to do something. So I'm going to add a new chunk again, and I'm going to type in when my button is clicked. Now you can name these things whatever you want. I'm just using these descriptive names here. I'm going to click Insert Code Chunk, and I want to insert it after my form, so I'm going to click, I want to insert it right before the end chunk. And now I'm going to click on the chunk I just created to edit it. So I want to create this branch, so I'm just going to come up here. I'm going to copy that branch, you know, the name of that branch, and I'm going to paste it in here. And I'm going to make it do a pop-up notice when you click the button. So right there I just put in some code so that when the button's clicked it's going to pop up with a little notice box, and then it's going to wait. So I'm going to hit done. And well, there I have my complete program. So now that my program is good to go, I'm going to hit test code. Now this is basically it'll parse the code and it'll test to see whether it's valid, and it'll pop out any error messages if you had any screw-ups in your programming. So I'm going to hit the test code button. Now notice how it tells me that there was an error. And it shows me where it was at. It was on the very first line, in fact. I didn't dimension my array properly. I forgot a space there. So I'm going to come back over here to my code editor, and I'm going to put a space in there. And I'm going to hit test code again. Now notice there wasn't any errors. It'll have a 0 there if there was no errors. And it shows me all my code right here, all packaged up. So now that I have my code there, I'm going to go and click on, now that I want to go and compile it, I'm going to go and click on Build Package. Now what it does is it actually builds a package for your code and makes it so you can download it as a zip file. So you'll see all the little files are copied into a zip file, and you can download the package right here. So you're going to click that, and see how the little zip comes and it downloads. You're going to open that, and I'm just going to, I had an old package here, I'm just going to delete that one. I'm just going to extract this and open that folder. So here's my folder that I downloaded and extracted from the zip. And now I'm just going to run my program. So here's my program. See how it's giving me my little debug statements in here, whatever. So I'm going to click the button, and it gives me a notice box. And I'm going to, I'm just going to close it out. So that is the Code Wiki in a nutshell. It has a lot of different features and whatnot, and I encourage you to explore. Oh, now there are a couple other things that the Code Wiki does. So if you want to make it so that one of your friends can edit your project, all they have to do is sign up for an account, and you click on the project settings under your project, and you go to project members. So I'm just going to add a member to this project. This is going to be somebody else who can edit my program. So I'm going to find them in the list of members, and I'm going to select them and hit add. and they get added to the list of people who can edit my project. The other thing that you can do, and that the Code Wiki gives you, is a web page for your project. Now, if you want to go and distribute your project and make it so that other people can see a little web page for your project, you can create a public website for it. So you do that under the project settings, and you go to Edit Public Website. Now, it gives you a URL for your website. That's the URL that your project can be viewed from. And when you do this, right now there's not going to be anything there since we haven't set it up yet. You're going to go over to the Pages portion, Pages tab, I guess, or whatever it is, and you're going to create a page. Now, by default, you do need to create a home page. And it's got a nice little WYSIWYG editor here for your web page. So I'm going to say this is my home page, and I'm going to make that font nice and big, and I'm going to hit Save Page. Now, if I want to go and create another page, I'm just going to type in another page name. So this might be About My Project, and I'm going to put in About My Project. This is a web page, and I'm going to hit Save Page. Now, if I want to go and edit my home page again, I just come up here to the list of pages and select it and hit Edit Selected Page, and it brings me into that page. Now, your website isn't quite set up yet. You do have to go over here and modify your navigation bar. I want to put the home page at the #1 position in my navigation bar, so I click Add to List at position 1. So I just added my home page, and I'm also going to add my other page to the navigation bar at position 2. So there we are. Now this is going to be the header for your site. This is going to be the top portion of your site. So I'm going to put in my cool website, and I'm going to again make my font really super big, and there we are. So I am going to now go to my website. So you can select your website URL from up here. You can copy that, and I'm going to open a new tab and go there. So this here is my my cool website. So my home page is by default shown in here. And the About page, it's located in the link up here. Now this here is the navigation bar you set up. This here is the header, and those are the pages. So that's your free little website for your application. Now, if you want to upload images to your site, you go over here to the Images tab, and I'm going to go and click on Choose File. I'm going to pick a picture of myself just because I want to, and I'm going to hit the Upload button. Now notice how it gives me a URL for that image. I am going to copy that. I'm going to go over my pages, and I'm going to insert that image into this page. So I'm going to go and click Insert an Image. I'm going to put in the URL which it gave me for my image, and click OK. And I'm going to position that to the right, and I'm going to save my page. So now if I go back over here to the Code Wiki, page. I'm going to reload, and right there, now we got my my little face right there. One of the nice things that you can do is you can go back over to your project, and if you want to insert a screenshot of a certain section of your program, you can open the image and simply copy and paste the URL into one of your pages. So I'm going to go and put a screenshot. Actually, I'm going to create a new page for my screenshots. And I'm going to go in, insert an image, I'm going to put in the image right there, and I'm going to hit save page. Now I'm going to go back over here to my nav bar, and I'm going to put my screenshots in at position 3 and add that to my index. So now if I go back over to my site and refresh, now I have my screenshots tab up here, and I can click that and I got a screenshot. So these are some of the things you can do with the Code Wiki. You get a free website with every project. You can edit your projects, you can share your projects with friends, and that's about it. So I'm going to leave this out there. Hopefully people like it, and I encourage people to tell me what they think. And it's still a little rough around the edges, but it is what it is. One of the other things under the settings that I wanted to show you is the Package Files Manager. This hasn't been set up yet 100%, so there's really not anything there, but it's going to allow you, once I fully implement it, to upload bitmaps and other resources that your program might need in order to operate, and it'll put those into the package for when you actually build your package. It'll automatically add them. So that's it. I'm going to sign off now, and have fun with the Code Wiki.